So 2 years ago this spring, I was so excited. I had my Lizzo ticket, and she was performing at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. My seats were right up front. I just knew she was going to call me up on stage. And then COVID canceled it. This spring, RodeoHouston hopes to make up for lost time, and they're doing it with a lineup that's more diverse, like our city, but still honors rodeo's country roots. Joining us with more on this year's entertainment from the ACM award-winning show, The Morning Bullpen on 100.3, George, Mo, and Erik. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Deborah. First of all, let us say what an honor it is to be on with you. I mean, Houston hero for us.
Aww.
We have you on in the studio every morning. Thank you so much for having us on your show.
Thank you. You're so sweet to say that. And okay, let's go to George. Speaking of Houston heroes, I mean, you've been like a radio legend and you keep bringing it to us all the time. Okay, and then Mo, we understand that you have a little buckaroo.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Sailor Drew turns 1 next month. Thank you for saying hello.
And Erik, this literally is your first rodeo. You are new to Houston.
Yeah, I'm new. I just got here in October, and they threw me into the deep end right away. So here we go, off to the rodeo.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So, George, speaking of off to the rodeo, when it started, it really didn't have musical acts. They brought that around 1942, about 10 years later, and Gene Autry, the singing cowboy, was the act. But of course, over the years, they realized that those musical acts could play to the diversity of our city even more.
Yeah, Deborah, you're absolutely right. You said it at the beginning. I love the fact that Rodeo Houston listens to people and they have continued to diversify their lineup. And I got to tell you, February 28th through March 20th, people don't believe me in other cities that we have back-to-back concerts like this. I mean, if you look at that calendar, the caliber of talent that is on that stage every night for those 3+ weeks, it's just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, they set records more and more every year. I'm going to go back to some of the non-traditional acts that they had over the last few years. When they first said Cardi B, I know some rodeo insiders who were like, I don't know about this. I don't know. But she set a record with 75,580 people in 2019. She beat Garth Brooks' record, but Los Tigres del Norte beat Cardi by 3 more people. And then they brought in something that a lot of people were like, what? And that was K-pop.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. The different genres. And by the way, don't you think that like the Spanish night, like 3 of the band members' moms just showed up so they could break that record?
Yeah, they did.
They just like, hey, mom, get down here. Help us break this record.
Bring your friends, man. Get down
genres.
here.
That's exactly right.
That's pretty funny. Well,
the different genres, and this year, I think we were most excited about the fact we've been hearing from so many Bull listeners that they would love to have like a Christian music night, and they finally added it this year. Mo and I were just talking about it. She's a big Jesus Jams person, so she knew all about it. So
yeah, well, you know what? Sometimes you see country really crosses over into Jesus, right? It's all there. So yeah, that's cool. That is going to be new this year. Some other folks are going to have, of course, Cody Johnson opening night. We love him. George Strait and Ashley McBride closing night. Parker McCollum, love him. Ricky Martin, he actually stole my song. I don't know if y'all know this, but when I interviewed Ricky several years ago, the original song was Living Negrita Loca, and he changed it to Living La Vida Loca. It was my song.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he apologized.
On the way.
That was my song, but he apologized.
As he should have. Yeah.
All right. Hey, Mo, so Gwen's going to be there. Gwen Stefani. Usually we have Blake in the lineup. So a lot of people are hoping maybe we'll have a little surprise this year.
We wondered that in the past as well, because what would make us happier than having both of them on stage, being all lovey-dovey together? I mean, that just screams excitement, right?
Yeah. All right. And then Journey. As we know, Steve Perry left Journey years ago. However, Erik, I know you come from rock and roll radio. The guy who replaced him, Arnel Pineda, is really good.
Yes. Oh, he's an insane singer. I promise. Steve Perry, as talented as he is, you won't miss him. It's going to be an epic show, and it's on Thursday, the 10th.
Yeah, all right. So we talked about the theme nights. We know Go Tejano night, Black Heritage night. Bumby will take over for Black Heritage, right? And Norteño for Go Tejano. But there's another thing that they added that a lot of people would think, is this an oxymoron? Are we going a little too far? And that is the electronic dance music night.
We're so excited, and we're talking on the show this morning about how electric it is inside a rodeo stadium when that EDM music comes on, like we all lose our minds. It doesn't matter who you are, you feel that music inside.
Yeah, okay, you're electric cowboy right there. I want to mention that 100.3 The Bull and Rodeo Houston. Okay, y'all are perfect for this. As I mentioned earlier, you are an award-winning radio show. What was that like to find out you were nominated and then to win?
Oh, it's so cool. Thank you, by the way, for bringing that up. It was so amazing to be at the ACM Awards and sitting next to, Dierks Bentley was just down the way, Florida Georgia Line on the other side of us, and we were sitting there and to hear the name called. And we always like to say, Deborah, and I know you're the same way, how much you love Houston. Absolutely. Houston did this for us, right? I'm not originally from Houston, but I got here as fast as I could, right? That's what they always say. But the Houston audience has embraced us, not only with the ACM win, but we were also the only radio station, the only country morning show that got nominated for an ACM and a CMA in the same year last year.
That's pretty cool.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, and some of that speaks to the fact that country music, I remember years ago, my parents would listen to Conway Twitty and Loretta Lynn. It's like, Mississippi woman, Louisiana man. And I was like, okay, Mom. All right, but we got to
get you on the show. We got to get Deborah on the show and do some country classics for us.
But we saw in the 90s how it kind of broke wide open, and then you have rock music that sounds like country. You have country blended with, pop. You have country blended with almost every genre, which made it more appealing to so many more people. All right, want to run through a couple of things that are happening in town this weekend because rodeo's not for, another month, basically. So there's a festival coming up, Erik, featuring a couple of music greats.
Yeah,
kind of, sort of. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, kind of, sort of, yeah.
David Bowie and Elvis Presley actually share a birthday. I had no idea. And that birthday is this weekend on Saturday. So there's a Bowie Elvis Fest. You're going to get a costume contest. Some local bands are going to play some great covers, and it all goes down at the Continental Club this Saturday at 7.
Yeah, and then George, we know the Houston Symphony has done this thing where they actually kind of, same thing that country did, diversified. They've diversified symphonic music.
Yeah, and you know what? I think it's a little bit ageist of you that he gets the rock and roll and I get the symphony. I'm just saying, Deborah, not that I'm calling you out or anything, but I'm just saying, yeah, actually, the Houston Symphony does great stuff. If you've never been to a concert with them, you've got to go. They're doing something they call Pink Martini Night with China Forbes. And what it is a little more jazzy take on some of the orchestra music. It happens Friday and Saturday night at 8 o'clock. They do a Sunday afternoon matinee. Yes, I'll probably go to Luby's and get square fish and go to the matinee, but
the Luann special, my friend, the Luann special. All right, and Mo.
That's right, exactly.
Let's wrap things up with one of the things that I always love, and that's the Jim and Julie Show.
Yes, ma'am. We're getting rodeo ready. You might as well get your jewelry and your accessories ready as well. The International Gym and Jewelry Show is happening at NRG. Let's go shopping, Deborah. Tickets are only $8. We should be there, and we'll get rodeo ready.
Yeah, okay? Speaking of rodeo ready, I think that's an emerald right there. It's my birthstone. That's why I need it. Okay, not want it, but need it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you all so much for joining us, and yes, I will come on and sing you some country songs one day.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to hold you to that, all right? We get closer to rodeo. You're coming on the show to sing, okay?
All right. You can listen to George, Mo, and Erik on the Morning Bullpen weekdays from 5:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 100.3 The Bull. For more information on rodeo and the events we just talked about, visit greatdayhouston.com.